your average like loan amount to this custom home, and what are those financial options to the publics?
Great question. And to piggyback on what Howard said, there are, so many variables that come into not only what makes a construction loan, but how is it priced and will it support that value? And, there have been times in my career where I've had some builders price per square foot that it just wasn't supported by the area or the location, and therefore it wouldn't appraise. And Howard is spot on when it talks about pricing price per square foot. When I was building, that was the leading question that somebody would come in and ask me, what's your price per square foot? Well, I don't really know where we're starting. And as Howard said, there's so much that goes into it. A lot of it has to do with the specs, what you put into it, what kind of a kitchen are you doing bath inserts? Are you doing all ceramic tile? I had a client that imported all of their ceramic from Italy. That was a little different a price per square foot than that one that said, well, I'm just going to go and pick something out from your local supplier. So all of those variables are not only important in your final cost, they're important when you go to do your loan, because sometimes those things are not supported in an appraisal or where the value is. And that can be a problem depending on the strength of the buyer, or as you know, it's location, location, location. Will the areas. And when I very important to me is I wanted to try and create a scalable product, a product that I could build the same house in Bethesda that I could build on a waterfront in Annapolis, because those were both my markets. And I actually could build the same house almost for the same price per square foot in those two different locations. What did differ is, well, not only what was the cost of the land, the site development as a big component, but sometimes you can spread out on a 3-acre lot in Annapolis, and you can stage your building there, and you don't have to worry about shutting down streets. When the supplier comes in, or you have to bring in a crane to support, set trusses and those kind of things. So there are variables that will drive up the cost. But first and foremost, the price per square foot almost doesn't matter if it's not a cash buyer or the appraisal won't support it, and you can't get the finances for it. So when it comes to the financing, a construction loan, as I train a lot of mortgage bankers in construction lending. I do a lot of seminars and classes and workshops. And as I tell them, a construction loan is just like any other loan until it's not. And that until it's not component has a lot to do with the build itself. When you're doing financing, it's the same. It's qualifying the customer income, assets, liabilities. That's pretty straightforward. But when you get into qualifying the property, qualifying the builder, and making sure that all of that comes together in a supported appraisal, that's usually where people get tripped up.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. 100% agree with Tom. Interesting what Tom was talking about, a 3-acre lot. I've done a lot of infill lots in and around Bethesda, Silver Spring, and those lots are so tight that we have to haul all the dirt off the site when we excavate the foundation, and then we need to haul that dirt back in to backfill the foundation. That's a really good example of a site cost that it adds quite a bit of money to the cost of construction that a layperson would not think about. But exactly. As a builder, that's why very often we will separate out the site work cost as a separate allowance in a contract, because there are so many variables. But let's face it, at the end of the day, most clients are not interested in watching how the sausage is made. They just like eating it. So they want to move into a beautiful home, and it takes a respectable, well-known, educated builder, somebody with good experience to work on challenging lots, who can foresee these issues, build them into the cost, make the customer aware of it, so that the customer has all the information they need going into it. The last thing a client wants is for the builder to come back and say, we're $100,000 over budget and you need to pay us that. Once you've got a construction loan in place, any overages are cash out of pocket. The bank's not going to go back and hand you some more money because you hit rock or bad ground or there was an overage for something else. That's going to be cash out of pocket. So that's where working with somebody with experience really helps out and prevents gotchas down the road.
You guys almost jump into my next question, how to find a buildable lot. But before that, I'd like to just let people know that the construction loan does a little difference from, other loans. And then this is my new learn as well, that if you only qualified for 1.3 construction loan, and then later on when you do the modification, you may can qualify for 1.4 or 1.5, right? So this is another thing that, people need to know, that don't think if you only qualify for 1.3, then you always qualified for the, conversion loan for 1.3. So that's not the case. And then, the new construction loan is only last from 12 months to 18 months. And then during the time, if you do have the cash out of pocket and there, but, later on you can get it back. It's just for people who has better cash flow in their business or, from their job or income. So yeah, this is very important. And then, it was like, surprised me, and then I was very happy to learn this information.